This is NBC 10 News at 10.
Right now, a crane slices a Dallas apartment complex, killing one and injuring 6 others. We'll hear from a witness as she recounts the seconds before the tragic accident. And we hear reactions from presidential candidates on President Trump's immigration deal with Mexico. How much of this agreement is new? We'll take a look. Plus, the Mississippi River could be getting a new port, and it could help you get to bigger cities faster. We'll break it all down. Hello and happy Sunday to you. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Chelsea Jones. Topping our news at 10, one person is dead after a crane collapse in Texas. It's our top story. 6 other people were injured when heavy winds in downtown Dallas forced the crane to topple into a 5-story apartment complex. Fire rescue are still searching for missing people. Severe storms are moving through the area. Power outages have been reported with more than 200,000 customers experiencing problems.
We noticed it got really dark really quickly, so we walked outside onto our patio, and the wind picked up incredibly quickly. All the pool furniture went into the pool, and I happened to say, what if the cranes fall? Are they going to fall in this building? And almost immediately after that, we saw one fall, and it just sliced through the building.
We will continue to update you on this story as more details become available. Well, Vicksburg is looking at the possibility of a new $125 million port on the southern Mississippi River. The Vicksburg Post says the city has hired an engineering firm to do a feasibility study. The mayor of Vicksburg, George Flaggs Jr., says they will examine if they should expand the current port on the Yazoo Canal or build an entirely new one that will grant easier access to cities like New Orleans. President Trump is defending the deal he announced that will spare American companies from paying new tariffs on Mexican goods, saying Mexico had agreed to take strong measures to stem the flow of migrants through Mexico. But how much of this agreement is really new? Ron Allen has more.
No Monday morning tariffs on Mexico after President Trump clinched an 11th-hour immigration deal for tougher enforcement, tweeting, "There's now going to be great cooperation between Mexico and the U.S." Mr. Trump, widely criticized for threatening tariffs, blasted as false a New York Times report suggesting weeks of trade tension, in fact, had not accomplished that much. Under the deal, Mexico plans to deploy 6,000 troops across its southern border to stop migrants from Central America. A senior administration official acknowledged to NBC News Mexico already had pledged 5,400 troops. And Mexico agreed to allow thousands of migrants seeking asylum in the U.S. to remain in or be returned to Mexico while their legal cases proceed, an arrangement first agreed to by the U.S. and Mexico back in December. What's new, an administration official says, is an expansion of Mexico's commitments.
He brought Mexico to the table again, and what they're talking about they're going to be doing, it's going to be a game changer.
Still, Democrats campaigning in Iowa, where farmers are getting hurt by trade tensions, also accusing Mr. Trump of solving a manufactured crisis.
I think the president has completely overblown what he purports to have achieved.
The fact that we've got so many farms going under here in Iowa because of his trade war.
If the number of migrants continues to soar, Mr. Trump warning he may turn back to tariffs.
Mexican officials are cautioning that it may take months to see a significant change at the border. Later this week, President Trump heads to Iowa to talk about jobs, the economy, and now trade and tariffs. Over in Arkansas, many people impacted from the historic flooding are now playing the waiting game and trying to figure out when they can go back home. In Faulkner County, water levels are receding slowly. In one Mayflower neighborhood, people say they were finally able to go inside their homes yesterday. The National Guard and Mayflower Police still, though, have several roads blocked off because of those floodwaters. One man says flooding in his backyard didn't get as bad as it did in 2009, but he says it's going to be a while before things are back to normal.
Well, if you can pan out there where the tree is, the tree about 7-8 foot on the other side of the tree is where my water line is, you know, going to the lake and everything normally. And it come all the way up to the back of the fence.
Roberts reports seeing turtles and even alligators in his backyard. Well, a new CNN poll shows 3 out of 10 Americans will only vote for a candidate who shares their views on abortion rights. That explains why abortion is becoming such a hot-button topic among the 2020 presidential candidates. Natasha Chin shows us where they all stand.
With several states banning abortions and much earlier stages of pregnancy than established by Roe versus Wade, 2020 Democratic candidates are coming forward in defense of abortion rights.
People who are frightened are the ones who don't get access, and that's just not right.
Elizabeth Warren, Amy Klobuchar, and Kirsten Gillibrand have called for Roe versus Wade to be codified into federal law.
I think Kamala Harris had a good idea the other day.
Harris is proposing the Department of Justice block what she calls dangerous abortion restrictions in states pushing unconstitutional anti-choice legislation before they go into effect. Harris is also among a host of Democratic candidates who tweeted in support of repealing the Hyde Amendment, which bans federal dollars from being used for abortions except in cases of rape, incest, or where the mother's life is in danger. 15 states offer their own funding for a wider range of abortion services to Medicaid recipients. The Kaiser Family Foundation reports more than half of the women of childbearing age on Medicaid do not qualify for most abortion services.
This assault on women's reproductive rights is an assault on women, but it's a particularly assault on African-American women.
Joe Biden was the only candidate in the Democratic field who supported the Hyde Amendment until he changed his mind this week.
If I believe health care is a right, as I do, I can no longer support an amendment that makes that right dependent on someone's zip code.
On the Republican side of the race, President Donald Trump was for abortion rights in the 90s, but is now against them. His administration imposed new restrictions Wednesday on the use of fetal tissue in scientific research. His only primary challenger, former Massachusetts Governor Bill Weld, penned an op-ed last week defending a woman's right to choose.
The focus on abortion rights comes after several states passed abortion bans in recent months. The purpose of those laws is to bring a challenge to Roe versus Wade before the Supreme Court. Well, coming up on NBC 10 News at 10, you've only got 3 days to join in on our second annual Homeless Veteran Food Drive. NBC 10's Anna McAllister walks you through the process of how you can get involved. Brian?
And we're right smack in the middle of June, well, pretty much at this point, and it's going to be feeling like June, not so